was coming to life. Hummingbirds were hovering over bees' hives, and way above him, huge volleys of honking geese were flying north from their winter watering grounds in the Sea of Cortez. The horse again seemed skittish. It had the beginnings of a cold muck sweat cooling on its neck. Alejandro would no doubt have said something reassuring in Spanish. He thought for a moment. "Buenos dias. Por favor," he attempted in a soothing whisper. The horse, though, was not convinced. Thaddeus didn't even know its name. The big black scary one was what he generally called it. He nudged it, but it wouldn't move. It was his fault, not the horse's. "Old fool, what in the name of all that's holy are you, a city boy, doing in New Mexico?" he murmured rhetorically. But he knew the answer. As in the rest of Manhattan, real estate prices in Harlem had gone through the roof, and someone had offered him $1 million for his large pre-war duplex near City College. He had refused. He had refused when they upped the offer to $1.25 million, and still said no when it had been raised to $1.5 million. Finally, though, when they said, "Mr. Harper, we are prepared to offer you $2 million for your apartment and your parking space," Thaddeus gave in. Everyone, he reflected ruefully, had their price. With the money, he reckoned he could buy a little place in the country. Actually, with the money, he could buy a 22-acre ranch in the Sangre de Cristos and pay a man to live there and look after the horses. And yes, horses. He'd always wanted to have horses. In his grandfather's time, a black man would have been lynched for riding a horse in Georgia. But when he'd told people his plans, they had been skeptical. "Out there in the West, they have snakes and black widow spiders and wolves and stuff like that," one friend had protested. "You'll get snake bit, Thaddeus, and at your age it'll kill you." He'd laughed at that. "Well, the joke's on me now," he thought. "Here I am tracking some wild animal from the mountains. Nobody with me. Anything could happen." But he had to do it. 2 nights ago, something had gotten into the corral and attacked one of the ponies. At first he thought it was a coyote, but when he looked closer, the prints were those of a cat. A mountain lion. He'd seen a few of them before up on a redoubt. He'd left them alone, and until now they had kept their distance from him. But this one had come right up to the house. He hadn't seen it, but he'd let off fireworks, shot his gun in the air. And it had come again last night. Around 3 a.m, he'd heard a commotion in the stable. By the time he'd gotten out there, it was gone, but one of the horses must have kicked it, because when he hit the floodlights, there was a bloody trail that led off into the wilderness that you didn't exactly need to be Kit Carson to follow. A mountain lion attacking horses was rare enough, but this one had to be desperate to come so close to man's territory. It was rabid, maybe, or injured somehow. In either case, now he was ready with his rifle to send it to a better place. The air grew thinner as the way turned up into the southern extension of the Sangre de Cristo Mountains. There were few insects, a hawk in the air, the sky free of clouds and vapor trails. Heat-caked blue. He took another swig of water. The horse lost its footing on a narrow part of the path, but still the tracks continued to climb, the back paw prints barely distinguishable, but the dried line of blood from a wound on the creature as good as a homing beacon. Bound to be after 6. He looked at his wrist, but the watch was back on the nightstand. He stared at the sky and the rising sun. Yeah, it could be close to 7. Maybe he should give up this hunt and head back. He still had to pack his suitcases for the trip to Ireland the next day, and he would need all his strength to get through the 12-hour flight from San Francisco, never mind the prospect of watching Jamie and the mysterious adoptee Wishaway for an entire week. He took off his Yankee cap and wiped the sweat from his brow. He had to think about it. "I'll track for 5 more minutes, then we'll go back," he explained to the horse. Alejandro